Hello, fabulous fans and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I wish you a very happy 2025. Welcome to the predictions for each sign for the month of January 2025. Remember to check your sun sign and the ascendant sign so that you have a more complete prediction. Virgo, at the beginning of the month, your ruling planet Mercury has not yet left Sagittarius, which really bothers you because you feel scattered and full of ideas to renovate your house and receive new ideas that are so broad that they are impossible to analyze them all in detail, not only because of Sagittarius, but because it is ruled by Jupiter and it is in Gemini, which multiplies communications and relationships, both professional and social. Growth and order are configured by Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. This supposes a conflict of possibilities. The dilemma is to change or continue as it is. And when Mars returns to Cancer on the 3rd, it will be emphasizing the attachment to the past, and Pluto, for its part, imposes its orientations towards the future, which makes the choice even more tense and complex. The dilemma is to take a risk or deny an opportunity to reconcile this work. This is a process that will be in effect until mid-year. For this reason, let us emphasize the beginning of the month, which points to your work area with great precision due to a tense dialogue imposed by the Moon-Pluto conjunction in exact opposition to Mars, which means work of action and confrontation, establishing a power struggle that proposes an interaction between an individual or creative proposal and the work group in a balanced way. The leader, in addition to acting on his own, will or must take into account the group, who must show intelligence and discipline to control their obsession with the new. The strength is in the dialogue. As Mars is in a period of retrograde on the 6th, it re-enters Cancer, seeking to protect the community, acquisitions, and groups. The dialogue with the Sun in Capricorn turns everyone's attention to the goals that they want to achieve, protecting what gives them security. This dialogue generates anxiety and tension because moving towards achieving goals implies leaving the past behind, and that is scary, especially on the 13th when the full moon occurs together with Mars, strengthening all values and what was done to get to where they are, and it feels like the goals and paths to improvement put what has been achieved at risk. This process will extend until April, and only then will we return to the dynamic that was proposed on January 1st, allowing a leadership that is capable of moving the group towards the future with discipline and intelligence. Now, for you, it questions ambitions and hopes of creation or belonging to the family group. When the Sun in Capricorn emphasizes detachment in order to grow individually, your creative ambitions and the desire to leave a personal mark on your children push them and you towards a solitary effort. The solution is to give time in your schedules for both perspectives. Then, with the advance of Mercury into Capricorn on the 8th, you will feel more stable and solid to understand things. However, with the situation of the lunar nodes still in Aries and Libra, you will not be able to let go of the values that hurt you more, and the retrogradation motion of Mars will bring you people from the past who come to fix situations or close what was left pending. It is until the 26th that you must maintain your sanity without preventing the cleansing and closure of situations or people or those who hurt you, and that you have to forgive and leave anger behind to receive the new. In addition, you still have to deal with the dramas that arise in couples, in your partner. By now you know that it is not only about the other person, your better half, but about a situation in which either of you can feel limited in your emotional expression, and in public only light and somewhat superficial communication is allowed. So stay calm and do not let situations overwhelm you. You do not need to analyze everything or be perfect. Venus is ending its passage in Aquarius, but on the 3rd it will move to Pisces, the area of your partner and partnerships. In this sign, its energy is expressed gently. It imposes its logic of romance and idealism. The first encounter you will have to face is the challenge of commitment, because on the 18th, Venus reaches Saturn and a harmonious dialogue is established with Mars, emphasizing with this the love of the past and at the same time the love of the new, because Uranus imposes a brief harmonious link. A new opportunity may appear for you or your partner that seems to support the commitment you already have, but it's enveloped of love, with love, idealism, and illusion. It is so great that it questions the existing relationship. Towards the end of the month, on the 28th, Venus will reach the degree to which it will return at its retrograde period in March and April. On the 29th, it will reach Neptune in Pisces, and the North Node will also enter this sign. So all this means a great idealization, a longing for love and desire that will surpass all that was imagined. On the non-coherent side, it means a great sacrifice and detachment from reality. This movement to Pisces is emphasized by the North Node that will remain in Pisces for 18 months, with its counterpart, the South Node, in Virgo. This change affects relationships that will insatiably seek this idealization that is natural to the North Node in Pisces, but will be considerably increased by the Venus-Neptune conjunction. The objective of this configuration is to re-establish faith in love and in the ideal, but it brings the stamp of impatience because it will advance to Aries and return to Pisces for the inferior conjunction of Venus. So believing in this brings the double possibility of igniting the heart and the love life on the one hand, and on the other it means risking what you have by preserving the status quo, even if it hurts. The decision is complex and of course personal. The retrograde movement of Venus will end in a long conjunction with Saturn, which is where it began, bringing the love adventure to reality. On the 13th, when the full moon forms in Cancer, it does so in conjunction with Mars, which emphasizes the confrontation with Pluto that we have been pointing out. So, taking care of security should not distract us from our goals, because if we do not risk changing, improving ourselves internally, and we hide by protecting what we know, we will lose progress and the purpose will not be fulfilled. On the other hand, risking everything and losing security is not advisable either. So balance is necessary, not only during this day, but the following week, from the 13th to the 21st of the month, when the Sun will join this dialogue. Neptune allows us to imagine how improvement would be possible without losing security. Perhaps we can sacrifice some things, situations, or relationships in search of progress, realizing that they are really a burden or a comfort zone, and that we can no longer stay in the same place or in the same situation. Then we can be honest and use diplomacy and elegance to say goodbye to the old and strive to reach for the new. As I said at the beginning, it requires an exercise of discipline, effort, and will, above all, to reach the desired goal. Now let's remember that belonging doesn't mean adjusting or conforming to what others order or think. It's about offering the best of ourselves and negotiating with others. If they don't want it, it's not there, the place to be. And on the other hand, accepting what others are and offer if you don't want them to, then there's no obligation to stay. But by accepting each and every one obtains the responsibility of their actions, fulfilling their obligations, maintaining a creative attitude in the group. Even through Uranus, we have the willingness to change the custom and the old. Mercury, in its passage through Capricorn, also focuses on the goal, but even with that, we can insist on the fear that gives us to lose what we have gained, even if it means improvement. It's like wanting to put on new shoes without taking off the old ones. The full moon emphasizes the decision process between the old and the new. Leaving the comfort zone requires courage and knowing how to adapt to the unknown. The above will be idealized because Neptune is lifting the veil of the ideal of the past and Pluto supports this mirage. But at the same time, we are tempted by the new due to the harmonious dialogue with Uranus at this time. In addition, we feel the confrontation of the wound of the past with the rebelliousness to come to terms to an agreement. We are in no way willing to give in on anything. Venus at this time, together with Saturn, also cooperates in the tense dialogue with Jupiter, which proposes an excess of communication with multiple voices and proposals that cause dispersion, and yet the resolution of this conflict would make us win the future. I propose calm and patience because the pressure of the new is inevitable. In addition, for you, the full moon brings this review with your children, your loved ones, and your creativity. Do not hold on to resentment. Rather, let your common sense dictate the new way of relating to your friends and partner. There may be a situation of forgiveness. Do not insist on clarifications. On the 27th, Mercury advances towards Aquarius and meets with Pluto. And then, with the new moon on the 29th, it gathers new ideas. They are deep and transformative. There, you will realize if you have cleaned up enough or if the past continues to distract you. You still have until April to restore peace with your friends and your partner. This also opens the possibility of new understandings of the world, new philosophies and beliefs to renew yours, not to cling to the old unknown. Your mental agility and your ability to reason at work will be very useful, but try to connect with the team and above all, do not be afraid of the new. The new moon, preceded by Pluto and Mercury, leads to fascination and a taste for the new. And Jupiter at this time brings a harmonious dialogue to get it right with its enthusiasm and multiple ideas inciting towards the new and technology. In addition, the North Node promises an ideal, a utopia if you will, and at this time the position of Mars in relation to Saturn seems to show agreements on what is worth preserving and what is not. This last planet is the ruler of delineation, and in its position in Pisces it brings us an effort to accept that it is possible to order the imagined reality at times when what we imagine will be too big and we will still suffer from the excesses of Pisces, but we will seek to achieve an improvement anyway. The essential challenge to overcome is to accept the wound, forgive in order to move on, and force yourself to negotiate, being honest with those who truly you need to. Only then will we be able to overcome resentment, anger, and paralysis. This contradiction between the planets in Pisces and the planets in Aquarius makes action difficult for us, and on the one hand, it awakens rebellion, and on the other, the wound of acting at the wrong time or without success. The essential thing in terms of relationship is to accept that you have to communicate without falling into drama, manipulation, or victimization. But the obligation now and for 18 months is to understand feelings, your own and those of others. Analysis will not be in fashion, but we must make an effort to take them into account. The path to resolution is long and goes in this direction. First, let's give space to the new, asking ourselves what we want to free ourselves from. Then let's review what is truly valuable, inspires us, and has a special value in the heart. Let's make the decision to act with discipline, and then let's remember our purposes and goals. It is with all this that we understand that changing is for our own good. Neither foolishness nor dramas helps us at this time. To end the month, the emphasis is on Aquarius. It helps us to be intelligent. But let's remember that we are beginning to revalue intelligence. No matter how high it is, it cannot isolate us through arrogance. It is rather to teach, to communicate to others, to suggest new paths and solutions, not to impose them by force, even if it is Pluto. Let's choose the path of transformation. Let's avoid the path of imposition. We can do it.